The Secret Garden through the Freud and Jung perspective. The Secret Garden is a tale of two children who go through a great transformation through the magic of a secret garden. Archibald Craven. He avoids being home and rejects his son due to the repressed trauma of his wife's passing. Freud would believe that he may have had childhood trauma which has caused him to react so poorly. He projects his illness to his son by making everyone treat the boy as an invalid, and often justifies why he shouldn't see his son through rationalization. Freud would say that his dream of his wife was intended to help him release the emotions of his repressed trauma, leading to catharsis. In the Jungian perspective, the dream would be viewed as a supernatural force reminding him of what he has neglected and helping him make his next move in reality. Jung would say that Archibald can be seen as a negative shadow because he isn't able to deal with his wife's death. Mary Lennox. Mary is in denial, which is seen through her inability to give a proper reaction to her parents' death. She's in denial of ever having them as parents because they never treated her as a daughter. Mary has a weak superego since she is powered by her id and acts very selfishly. Freud would assume that she becomes less selfish when she meets Dickens because she is now in the genital stage. This means that her love and infatuation for Dickens has made her more selfless rather than the magic from the garden. He would see her gardening as an act of sublimation to keep her impulses tamed. In a Jungian perspective, Mary would be seen as overly animist because she is very opinionated, logical, and does as she pleases. She wears a mask of unloved, in my opinion, because in the beginning she doesn't show or know her true personality. She is able to go through individuation with the help of the creative forces she finds in the secret garden, and through meeting Cullen, who Freud would say that Cullen is suffering from hysteria in which his psychological conflicts are affecting his physical symptoms. This is generally something that affects women and feminizes Cullen's character, since he is weak and emotional. Mary does compare his femininity to Dickens' character, who is masculine and strong. He is powered by his id and acts as if he can get whatever he wants and as if the world is his own to control. His defense mechanism is shown through his isolation in his room. He wants to remain in his room and not see anyone because of the unpleasant experiences as an invalid he had as a child. I do believe he has an Oedipus complex by the way he doesn't want anyone to see his mother's portrait and refers to her as mine. But later on he overcomes that and uncovers her portrait to all. Freud may say he became stronger and less selfish through interacting with Mary, because she provides a release of emotion for him which made him better. In the Jungian perspective, he would be seen as overly anima, because he is super emotional and is easily controlled by Mary's animus personality. Jung would say that they need one another to have a balanced anima and animus in their psyche. He also has a mask of appearing rude and standoffish, but as soon as he removes this mask, we see how curious he is about the world and how much he desires to be around others. Jung would say that he does have a complex which makes him a hypochondriac, which Mary helps him overcome with the garden. Jung would say that Cullen's chance and discoveries through white magic is part of the creative force from his collective conscious. There are archetypes in this book, such as Susan Sorby, who represents the Great Mother through her all-nurturing and all-knowing attributes. Cullen and Mary both share how they wish that she were their own mother. She is also noted to be dressed in a way that represents the Virgin Mary. Dickens represents the hero archetype because he is enable for Cullen and Mary in the garden to transform, and so that they can each become stronger and more developed. He does not change throughout the book, because his personality is ideally who Mary and Cullen wish to become. Ben Weatherstaff serves as the spiritual force, or as like the old wise man, because he is part of the transformations as well. In his own way, he provides insight and encouragement for both Mary and Cullen. Mandela and transformation archetypes. Mary and Cullen each have a moment where they each enter the garden and feel a sense of rebirth. The garden is a great part of the growth of their individual personalities because it grows with them. The garden and the children start off as unwanted until they're cared for, which causes them to become more attractive and beautiful inside and out. The collective unconscious part of this book. Magic serves as a creative force that is focused in the garden, but also serves as part of everything else in the story. Cullen uses chance to help him gain the strength to start walking and become stronger. And Susan says that she believes in a creative force, and so does Dickens and other people in the story. This is all part of their collective unconscious according to Jung's theory. And here are my references, and that is The Secret Garden through the Jung and Freud perspective.